All right, we have Ambassador Lindner with us on this special broadcast. Ambassador Lindner, welcome to DD India. Now, we've heard from Chancellor Merkel, we heard from the German Foreign Minister as well. From your perspective, your vantage, if you can help our viewers understand, how will the transatlantic ties shape up over the next few years under President Joe Biden in the US?
Good morning, Ramesh, and it's good to be on your program. Well, we have to see, if you live in Europe, then the transatlantic relationship is crucial. For us Germans, but also for the Europeans, the relationship towards the US is the most important. They guarantee our stability, they guarantee our security, we share common values, so this is something very, very deep running. Whoever sits in the White House and whoever sits in Berlin, in Paris, or wherever in the government. So this is something in the German case, which comes, of course, from the Second World War, where the Americans were crucial to liberate us from Hitler and from the darkest chapter of the German history, Holocaust and all this. And then after the war, after Second World War, to bring us democracy, a constitution and the Marshall Plan, which helped us to get this economic wonder in Germany. And then with the reunification, the two Germanys, the US were crucial in supporting us. And so the general approach between the German people and German governments and the US is a very strong one, a very emotional one, which can't be changed just by a president.
Right. Right.
So we have worked very close with all these presidents, and be it from the Democratic side or from the Republican side. But of course, Trump has been challenging, very challenging, and these 4 years have damaged something. But as I said, we have a strong relationship which could deal with these damages which we have suffered during the last 4 years, and we're looking forward.
Right. Ambassador Lindner, all eyes would be on the manner in which President-elect, the new administration, is going to reset America's position, particularly in international organizations which has representations from across the world, particularly in the context of climate change, the Paris Climate Pact, President Donald Trump firmly believing that there's nothing called climate change, and he withdrew, and now it seems the new president-elect, his priority, the vice president talking about climate change commitment. How does Germany look at this commitment, the expectations from the new administration on that front?
Yeah, you see, one of the challenges I was mentioning, which we had during the last 4 years, I guess between Europe as such, but especially between Germany and the Trump administration, was the reliability. You know, the predictability, reliability, the trust, reason. The Trump administration left unilaterally agreements like the Paris Treaty, or like the JCPOA, which is the Iran agreement to fence in the Iran capacity to build nuclear weapons, or the WHO, for that matter. So there are just things which we didn't really share. So we think if there can be some new approach, and I think what Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said already last night, that we are now offering a new approach, a new reset of confidence, of trust,
right,
of reliability, predictability, of tone, of all these things. And this would be, I think, the program for the next few weeks and months ahead of us.
Ambassador Lindner, Germany has recently unveiled what is known as the Indo-Pacific strategy. Now, how will that strategy shape up under President Biden in the White House as compared to the last few months of the Trump presidency?
I mean, let's make no mistake, the world will not be a total different world tomorrow, but I mean, there's the China factor, there are global interests, and there are challenges for mankind, which is climate change, which is water shortage, which is population growth, which is, you know, all these points. We need a cooperation, and that's why it's so important that we have someone in the White House who is playing a team player card, a card which listens to the allies, which works with the allies, and which considers facts as facts, like the climate change, and doesn't deny it. And so if we have someone in the White House who is a team player and who understands this, and we know Joe Biden, of course, from his vice presidency with Barack Obama, so he's a well-known figure, and in fact he was very crucial in talking to us and to Europeans. He knows the European mentality. So I think we have a real positive outlook.
Right. Ambassador Lindner, on the security front, there's been interesting focus on the NATO alliance. The earlier President Donald Trump made news about how the partners must pay for the security that America brings to them. Again, on that front, what would be the expectations of the European partners from the new leadership of America, and what new shape could NATO take in the coming years, according to you?
I mean, as NATO partners, we already work very close with the US, no matter who sits in the White House. I mean, be it Afghanistan, be it other places in the world, so we work very close. And even under, Barack Obama, it was clear that we have to take more, as Europeans, we have to take more of the burdens of defense spending. So we agreed in Warsaw that the goal should be raised until 2%, and we are all working on that, and we are all on a good path. What was irritating was just the kind of tone during the last few years of punishment, of non-acknowledging that the allies are doing a lot already. And I think there we will continue on this path which we agreed commonly, and we will do a real sharing of this defense spending, but it will be all done in a tone of harmony and of common interests, and not in a confrontational manner like we would be in the not allies, but some kind of contradicting nations, which is not the truth.
And talking about the European Union in general, Ambassador Lindner, we've seen that President Trump was, very pro-Brexit. So after Brexit becomes a reality in the next few months, what might be the EU-US relations going forward look like, especially in terms of trade? Now, there's talk about a free trade area agreement, a bilateral agreement with the US. So what are the prospects for an economic partnership between the European Union and the US going forward as well?
I'm sure that Ms. von der Leyen, head of the Commission, will say something on that within the next few days, because it's her turf. So I don't want to get too much into that. But the fact is that 30% of the world trade is done between the US and the EU. And 70% of the US imports coming from the European Union, 17% are coming from the European Union, and on the other hand, 11% of the EU imports go to the come from the US. Right. So this is a huge powerhouse. It's the biggest. We are both for each other the biggest trading partner, right, before China and before Canada and before others. So this has relevance. That's why it was so important to have a relationship of trust and of understanding between the two trading blocs. And I'm sure with a Biden administration, this will be a very reasonable exchange of views, and we will come to good results.
Right. Ambassador Lindner, an issue that dominated the American polls and affects all our lives as we speak today is the pandemic. And much of the criticism faced by the Trump administration was the dubious sort of response to the pandemic. But now with the new administration, and also as a risk of the pandemic still continues to be around us, what are the possibilities of more extensive partnership between countries, between America and Europe, many parts of which are seeing a new phase of the pandemic? On that front, what possibilities exist?
Well, as you have seen during the last weeks or month, in the run-up to the elections, that the Biden team was very serious on using masks and on accepting the threat coming from the virus. While on the other side, with the president, it was not always like that. So I think there will be much more reason afterwards now, and also an inclination towards respect multilateral approaches to this, which was also not always the case. So I think, I mean, of course, everyone has different interests, and we have to see how we find compromises on interests, but this will be much easier with the administration which is in favor of multilateralism and of team playing and of listening to other nations rather than dictating their own views.
All right, on that note, Ambassador Walter J Lindner, thank you so much for making time to be with us on this special broadcast on DD India. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.